Hello to all my beautiful nerds in the convention community. I am here today because not only October is spooky month, aka Halloween, where we as convention goers plan our cosplays for Halloween, also any events that we'll attend with those costumes, and probably pass out candy to the young trick-or-treaters. Another thing is that October is White Cane Awareness Month among the blind community. What does that have to do with the convention community itself, and what is it exactly? White Cane Awareness Month is where blind people in the community do specific events where they go to different street crossings around the country and cross those streets to show that they are able to cross them to get to their destination with either a cane or a guide dog. The reason why I'm doing this towards the convention community is because a year ago at Holiday Matsuri, which was held at the World Center Marriott in Orlando, an attendee walked on top of my cane and broke it at one of the joints. I did a makeup story time video telling the entire story, and I had the cane right here. And as you can see, it was duct taped, all thanks to one of the many vendors that helped us. And if that vendor is watching, thank you so much for helping us back then. I've been hoping to talk about something like this because as a blind convention attendee, not a lot of people know that I'm visually impaired. Probably they think visual impairments are more fictional because of how mass media portrayed us. Sorry guys, my cane does not turn into a pair of nunchucks. My eyes don't go into flame while I hit someone over the head, which is a major no-no. And also, I don't bend earth or metal to my whim. I am an actual bona fide blind person. And I do enjoy watching anime and also reading books on my many digital book reading devices, including my new Amazon Fire tablet. And one thing, I do write about accessibility in anime conventions, and I kind of feel like it's kind of being ignored. And I want to at least address that in this message. One thing is that being a convention goer, there are some safety reasons. And of course, being able to see that blind person with the blind cane would help a lot. If you're sighted, there's one big thing, a big tip I could pass along, and that is please notice your surroundings. Yes, at a convention, a lot of things happen and a lot of us don't pay attention to our surroundings. Heck, even a group of girls were sitting in the middle of a ramp at the World Center and don't know that people were trying to pass by, and if someone tripped over them, they would get hurt. But I kind of feel like not a lot of people don't notice that and notice their surroundings because a lot of merch is in their faces, or they need to get to that next panel, etc. And being able to see someone with either a guide dog or a white cane would help immensely. Which brings me to my next point. When seeing a person with a white cane, either A, pull the brakes, as in stop and let them through, because like many, we want to get to our next destination. B, walk around them if possible. Or C, just step aside if you notice. I mean, when I go to one of the other conventions, when someone sees me, they look up from a phone or something else and they just step aside and let me through. Another thing is, a nice little piece for any convention volunteer. If you notice a blind person that is either A, alone, or B, lost, and need to get to a certain place, please at least have some sighted guide training, or convention staff offer to have some people to give sighted guide during a convention. I had this happen during the first year of one of the other conventions I went to, and it did help me out immensely because I did not have my fiance with me during the convention. And nowadays, if I were to ask a volunteer at these conventions, they would just point and say, over there. Unfortunately, I can't see a pointed finger and should at least be more considerate about that. That was the word that I was looking for. More considerate towards how they see. So either A, guide them to that room, or B, just see if someone else could help on the floor, which there are a ton of attendees. So that's another tip. Now for blind people. There are times when we do plow through without even thinking. Heck, I even admit it myself. Big tip, pull the brakes. There are going to be times when a lot of things aren't in the way, and I admit I ran into a sign during that same convention where I had sighted guide and ended up hitting my head. So pulling the brakes does help because the cane would detect it first, and pulling those brakes would help walking around that obstacle. Another thing is, if you're with somebody, like a friend or a significant other like I would be, grab onto them and have sighted guide, because a lot of these conventions have a ton of people, especially on Saturdays. And also pull the cane back into a pencil grip. So that is an important thing to know, especially MegaCon, where a lot of crowds are at that convention. And another thing, please, to the sighted community, know for future reference, while walking in a certain crowded place, I know this would be hard to resist. Know that when you hear somebody say ow, even if they're blind, please say sorry. Yeah, during MegaCon 2017, so many people ran into me, I'm like, ow, and nobody says sorry. Heck, I even say sorry, excuse me, when I accidentally run into somebody. That's another thing, common courtesy, please. So those are my tips and tricks when it comes to noticing and being aware when it comes to someone with a blind cane. We're real in this community. I've met another person who's blind at Omni Fandom Expo 2019, and he does use a cane as well. If he also have gone through what I went through, he would know that losing a cane is like losing a friend, and basically, yeah, losing a friend, because a cane does help you find where you need to go. And also dodging any obstacles, whether it's street furniture or needing to find where you need to turn, etc. And having something like that break and hearing I did not know kind of is a discouraging thing. And I hope you guys have a safe convention travel, especially with Ranger Stop 7 and any other convention that you guys would go to within the coming months. And please keep an eye out for blind people, especially the ones with either guide dogs or canes themselves. Until next time, travel safely and stay beautiful while traveling the vast universe.